Welcome back, everybody, to another video. My name is Anderson, and this is a video I really did not want to make, and I really don't want to make any of these videos for any of our players here at Manchester City. As you know, some of you may know, our boy Oscar Bobb has an injury, a pretty bad one too. Yesterday, the news broke out around 14 hours ago. Sorry, I'm a little late to the party. I couldn't record yesterday. I was in a meeting when I found out yesterday, and I had a bunch of work. So sorry about that. But, anyways, yeah, Oscar Bobb is out injured. We know a little bit few things now after things have come out in the news. Fabrizio Romano reporting on it, Extra City reporting on it. The usual people. But it's just awful because last season even he did really good. I mean, Newcastle got a late minute winner, sorry. And then, he was patient last season, didn't get that much chances, didn't get that many chances. And, I think he deserved a little bit more game time than he did last season. Then went preseason, was patient again, did very good. I think he had 2 or 3 goals with 2 assists. Although it is preseason, then he came to the Community Shield and just balled out, broke Martinez's ankles, broke that defense of Manchester United, those people. And then, you think this guy's about to have a breakout season, and then this happens, I'm just gutted for him. I'm sad as a City fan, but on a personal level, as a person that has played the sport, you hate being injured, especially, you're right there. You're in the brink of success. This is what you've been working for your whole life, especially here at Manchester City. You've been working to get in the number one team, and then bang, it's gone. You're out for 5-6 months. We really don't know. There's some things that have come out, today in the morning, but we're going to take a look at them. So this is what Fabrizio Romano reported yesterday, 19 hours ago. So the news is a little bit more old. It's almost 24 hours. He said, bad news for Manchester City. Oscar Bobb has fractured a bone in his leg. He'll be out for several months, as Man City sources confirm. And this is where he got, and we all know Fabrizio Romano, doesn't spread lies, doesn't spread rumors. So this is true, because in the beginning, a lot of us thought it was fake, maybe, since some journalists, some small journalists were reporting on it. You can't really trust them too much. But then Fabrizio Romano pulled this out, and we all knew, obviously, it's a bad injury. Then this came out as of 3 hours ago. Oscar Bobb is flying to Barcelona today with an operation on a fractured fibula due tomorrow. The Man City forward is initially expected to miss between 3 or 4 months. Then they came out, then they replied 3 hours ago. Sources were hardened that Oscar Bobb injury was deemed a clean break and therefore can be easily operated on. The forward is expected to remain in Barcelona for around a week, will then undergo working back in Manchester. So we all know that it's no surprise that we have a doctor in Barcelona. I can't remember his name. He's a very good doctor. He's the guy that does all our medicals. He's the guy that I think that did Holland's medical as well. We just have to trust it. We just have to trust the process, just like we did with KDB last season. We have to give this guy even more time because we have to be patient. KDB, he was 32, 33 when he got injured with that hamstring injury. So it's a little bit different. And luckily for us, it's not as serious as we thought it was. Some people were saying that it was a injury that he did by himself, where like the foot plants into the ground and then your body doesn't move with your foot. So this goes the other way and it basically, fricks up the leg. You know what I mean? And, that was going to be terrible because I've seen that happen in soccer before. In high school, some kid broke his leg that way. He was out for at least 9 months. And then next year he wasn't the same anymore. He didn't even try out. He was too scared to play, soccer again or football. But, we just have to trust the process. You know what I mean? And then this came out. Manchester City are now set to enter the market with taking place internally to pick a favorite position. That's what I'm guessing is the fave option or favorable option, not probably fave. After Oscar Bobb's injury and additional to Alvarez's exit, City want to proceed on the market. Listen, it's no surprise that we've been quiet in the market. It is no surprise that we are we've been quiet. You know what I mean? Everybody knows it. We didn't want to sign a player. Pep Guardiola kind of said it that he didn't want to sign a player unless we have people leaving the club like Juan Alvarez, like Sergio Gomez, and now unfortunately Oscar Bobb is not out, but obviously out injured. And that takes us to what I think Manchester City should do. So, as it's being reported, Oscar Bobb's injury is serious and still kind of prolonged, but it's not as prolonged as we thought, like in a year, like the whole season injured. It's reported saying 3 to 4 months, 3 to 5 months around there, which is will take us around the January transfer window. So I think what Manchester City should do is not sign another winger, as some people have been reporting, like Eze, but we also know Eze can play a cam. I don't think we should go out there and go buy a winger. I don't think that's our main issue this upcoming season, because we have Bernardo. The plan was to put Foden and Bernardo back into midfield. Obviously with Oscar Bob, we're gonna have to, it's gonna be Savio and Bernardo out in that right wing side. Now that leaves space for the midfield, and now I think we have to spend decently big for a midfielder, because we were pretty light last year in the midfield. Let's be honest. KDB was out. He was out. Foden had to step in. Thank goodness Foden did step in at the right time. We're very light. We have Matthias Nunes, but Pep doesn't honestly trust him. He doesn't trust him. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he's had enough time. But Pep Guardiola just doesn't trust him. Just doesn't trust him. And Calvin Phillips, I mean, as we can see in the board, give me one. What's it called? As we can see in the board, Calvin Phillips here. You can see the news broke out as of 4 hours ago. Calvin Phillips to Ipswich Town. You know what I mean? No surprise there that he's leaving. We all kind of knew he was going to leave. Hopefully this time it's a permanent move. I know it's a medical. I know it's a loan, but hopefully Ipswich Town buys him. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. Calvin Phillips, you have to go, man. Hasn't done anything really. Anyways, moving on. But we have to spend decently big for a midfielder. We need, out of every position, we need a Rodri, somebody that can step in when Rodri needs a rest. And I think Bruno Guimaraes is a great player to have all around the squad, actually. He can play center mid, center defensive mid. He's comfortable in both of this position. He's Premier League proven. He's been in the Premier League for 2 years, has balled out in the Premier League for Newcastle. But the only hard part is that release clause is done. It's out of here. It's out of his contract. We kind of, that the time already ticked for that contract, for the release clause. And it's going to be a hard deal, but I think it's a deal that Manchester City really have to do. I don't think we have to invest in a right winger or a left winger or even a striker, even though we don't have a replacement, or not replacement, but a person that can fill in for Haaland when he needs rest. We really don't need a striker. I mean, it's been 2 years since we haven't played without a striker. I think we can still go back to 1 or 2 or 3 games here and there whenever Haaland needs a rest. Like, hey, Pep, I need a rest. We can just play a false nine. We can just get back into the rhythm. We've done it before. I know we can do it again. We have the same type of players, ball retention players. So that shouldn't be too big of a problem unless you really have to, dig into the January transfer window. And that's where I was getting to is I think Bruno Guimaraes should be a summer target right now in these last 2 weeks of the summer transfer window. I think he would be a great exceptional player. Just the reasons I said before, this guy is needed here at Manchester City. We really haven't found a Gundogan replacement. I know we got Kovacic, but Kovacic just for me isn't the man. He's a great player, you know what I mean, to have as a rotation player, a squad player, but he's just not the man. And I think Bruno could be the man for a lot more years. And I think he's a direct replacement for Gundogan, but also a person that can fill in for Rodri when he needs rest. But yeah, going again, another thing. I was reading that Claudio Echeverri, the Argentinian boy, Manchester City kind of won him already in the summer because Oscar Bobb's injury, of course, the team looking light. I just don't think that's the right option. I don't even think the guy really even wants to come to Manchester City just yet. I think he wants to come in January when he's supposed to. And that's another thing that we should wait, Claudio Echeverri, that's another thing that they need to put in the equation. Manchester City is that you can buy Bruno Guimaraes, and then in the January transfer window, we have this amazing baller coming from Argentina. And he can't play because we have so many people in midfield if we add Bruno Guimaraes. But I think that's a risk we have to take. The reason why is we have 5 in a row right here in our hands. Our squad is looking so good. I know that it sucks that Oscar Bobb has obviously came in injury, but our squad still looks pretty decent. I think with 2 signings, I think we are going to be able to, you know, pursue and win the Premier League this season again, 5 years in a row. I know it's crazy to say, but I think we have a chance. It's right there, just like Liverpool. Liverpool haven't spent anything, and I think they can be right up there with us as well as a contender with Arsenal and Manchester City, a three-way, um, race to the Premier League. But again, it's right there. I think 2 signings will do. A Roger replacing like Gumaraj, and then I know this is a weird one, but a new right back or left back. Listen, Walker's getting old. Last season was a horrible season. Personal issues. I don't want to get into that, but he had personal issues, and it just affected him in the game. You can see it. You can see it. You can, especially that Newcastle game that we played. I think it was the second time we played the Newcastle in their home stadium. He was just terrible. And during the season, he was a question mark always. Whenever he was in the team lineup, I just didn't trust it. After 4 or 5 months that he was in the lineup, I just don't think he's right for the captain spot either. I think it should be like a person like Ruben Diaz or KDB. But yeah, man, like Manchester City have to play their cards right these last 2 weeks and have to play it right because we have Chelsea Sunday. We have Chelsea Sunday. I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, but Chelsea isn't that good of a team. Chelsea isn't that good of a team. I'm telling you right now, with some of the signings they've done, they're a decent team. Yes, we beat them in preseason 4-2, but that's preseason. We didn't have our best squad. They didn't have our best. They didn't have their best squad, and we just have to be wary of them because they still are a decent team. They have Cole Palmer. They just added Neto. You know what I mean? They have Jackson. As much as you guys would like to clown on Jackson, Jackson isn't the worst striker in the world. They're about to add Joao Felix. I'm not sure if they'll get him in time on Sunday. I doubt they will. But yeah, man. It's a tricky situation that we're in right now. I think Manchester City have to try to, pull the right move. There is no just one right move. I think there's several directions Manchester City could do. They could get two new players, a right back or a center mid and a center defensive mid that, plays both. Or they can go in the market and go get a winger and then another midfielder. I just don't think that's the right option in my opinion, but it's not a bad option either. Like a Rodrigo or like who else has we been linked in? I guess an Eze. I don't really see the hype with that guy, to be honest with you. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he's City material in my opinion. I think we should have got Michael Elise a long time ago. 45 million Bayern Munich bought him. That was crazy. But, I trust Pep. If Pep seems decently calm and he says he's going to go into the market, I trust him. The guy has been here for years. The guy has won 6 Premier League in the past 7 years, and it might be 6 Premier Leagues in the past 7 years now, maybe this year. But you got to trust Pep. You got to trust Pep. You got to trust the staff. You got to trust the board that they're doing everything in their power to help Manchester City win. But no, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What you guys think should be our next move? What do you guys think of the injury? What do you guys think? And how long Bobb is going to be out and how long will it take him to come back? Because obviously he can be fit, back and play 100%, but it's a mental game because, if it is kind of what they were saying where it's a self-done injury, I heard it was a turn or something, that screws you up mentally. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to want to do that turn anymore. And it's going to, be a fearful player. That happened to Hector Bellerin. Go look at the documentary. He was scared to even do a slide tackle in the first game. I don't even think he did a slide tackle in the first game or the first few games. It freaks you up mentally. And hopefully Oscar Bobb can still continue this form. And Oscar, if you're watching this, man, keep going. You're a great player. And it's just unfortunate. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think Manchester City should do and how long do you think Oscar Bobb is going to be out for. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.